Alright everybody, we are back. We are already loading into the game, so we do not have a housekeeping campfire chat, we have a housekeeping intro instead. There was a renewal being brought by Eviscerate. It is banned individually against the Slinger, so that's going to be -2 for Eviscerate and basically revealing the perks. They can only adjust the renewal and everything else needs to be the same. Insane start for our killer now, because we talked about the RNG, and I think our killer is very happy that this one is going to be restarted here. So let's take a look how they are playing this out here with the Slinger on Suffocation Pit this time. Corrupt Intervention is on the bottom side, and there are only 2, so we can tell the top side, it's now absolutely insane.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see a very, very strong now position for Gavex to be in. V1, however, is going to take a very, very early hit. That's going to mean that Gavex has the potentiality to get a down here in this Corrupt side, which is definitely what you want. You want to get one as fast as possible. However, the Claude is going back and forth, but Gavex still going to be able to land that shot. That's going to be a down very, very early. Now, potentially getting a hook or maybe finding someone else also on this side could be so good for Gavex. We do see that pain resonance, so if there's a Scourge hook on this side of the map as well, that could mean that you're going to be able to get value out of one that you normally wouldn't be able to get value on, as the main building is typically where you're going to want to get as much pressure as possible. But like Dyer mentioned before, we have a lot of generators in this area, and you know, with this middle right here, you can just hold the middle. If you're good enough on the Slinger, good enough to hit those quick shots, really, you can just stay here in the middle and pressure both sides, something that's I think is unprecedented in Suffocation. But I don't think I've seen a middle-centric play ever. But no, the save comes through, but V1 is going to get immediately hit again. But we know that 10 seconds of borrowed time is going to mean that Gavex isn't going to be able to instantly get the down. V1 able to get the stun as well. That's going to prevent Gavex from getting the reload and give them even more distance. They're trying to go for a shot, maybe seeing somebody else that I didn't see. Yeah, that's V1 still on this pallet. Didn't take distance, instead staying. That's going to mean that V1 is able to go down pretty quickly if Gavex is able to land their next shot, and they are. That's going to be the down. Nothing can save them except the body block from Zeno, which just come through. That's going to mean a lot of seconds are gained, but still, V1 cornered here. Gavex, however, it seems to have lost exactly where they were. They've gone to the edge map, I think, and Zeno is the only person they can really go for now.
This was insane here. Zeno last second. What a play of teamwork and protecting a teammate. And our killer now struggling a little bit with the decision. Which survivor should I chase? And how much attention do I need to keep on the generators? And I think this was a very good call to move back towards the hill over here on the left side. And even losing the generator on the main building as well. So Eviscerate well aware of the huge setup that is now on the top side of the Suffocation Pit here. Great pathing by Gavex, zoning the survivor back behind the main building, but not going for it fully because he needs to push away the survivor that is working on the hill over here. That should be a hit, but just moving around the tree here. Very, very nice work by Laser here. Eviscerate potentially going for the resets. They shouldn't take it too risky here. And now with the main generator being dropped out of the insane setup there on the top side, there's less to worry about, but V1 unfortunately experiencing a disconnect here. That's going to be something to clear up in the background with our staff team. We do see a notification on the top side. They're working on this generator. So a lot of decision making now on the shoulders of Gavex here. Needs to make a lot of good calls and a lot of good decisions here. We do see him kicking the generator once again. But with this main generator being pulled out, this 3-gen here is difficult. You basically play a 3-gen with the mid-section of the Suffocation Pit, and the mid-section is straight up towards a very, very strong bottom side. But a very good shot right here. Laser now taking an injury as well. So 2 survivors need to go for a reset, because also the quote of successful shots is really, really incredible by Gavex so far. So Eviscerate under pressure here, and if they do not go for resets really soon, then we at least need a very long chase right here.
Yeah, definitely, especially because V1 just went and dipped out. Now going to give them the full 7 points and a 3v1 situation at 4 generators. However, Zeno still not going to give up this opportunity to do a little bit of juicing. Is able to get that crouch on the window, preventing Gavex from getting the shot, and then a nice dodge at that pallet as well. Now into the Lithe. They're going to be able to make this filler well, but they need the stun as fast as possible. Gavex is going to do the back and forth. They throw the pallet, but the stun doesn't come through. Zeno now needs to make this vault as fast as possible, but Gavex tries to go for the fake, but ooh, Zeno is gonna only be able to make this corner. A Jin in the distance will get done, but the survivors are still very much on the back foot with that -2 penalty, and then the DC, they're only at 2 points and only 2 generators completed, meaning that they're very much on the back foot here.
Yeah, and we start getting the call already what it was. It was an internet crash of V1 there, so this is going to be the elimination very likely if the information received are correct that way. So Eviscerate now needs to take all possible points here if this game is not going to be restarted, and we might just see a game that is coming down to the question how many generators are completed. The body block, no, oh, actually just went out once again. Last second here, very, very strong work. Zeno grinding for the MVP title on teammate protection here. The survivor just leaving in time from the midsection. We see a lot of generators being towards the 75% mark here, so really good work on the survivor team. If they would push these generators into the full completion, that's a lot of points that can be earned there. A little bit of a standoff on the locker here, a little bit of a back and forth. Just
he does have the min, so he can't stay.
Now going out here, so Zeno is going to move into this jungle gym here. Locker tag once again, but yeah, the mending is a good point here. Zeno needs to be careful with that, otherwise he's going to lay in front of the locker very soon, and Gavex doesn't seem to have any interest in picking Zeno out there, knowing exactly that about the mending timer and the potential risk of a decisive strike right there. So he's just doing his job, keeping an eye on the generators left and right. Nice shot now onto Zeno, and a beautiful down right here. Eruption coming out, so we can also see that Eviscerate is suffering from a few time penalties here and there now. The one at the hill is just good to go here, so really, really good work here. And one is on the top side, so they are splitting up, and having someone on the top side and one on the bottom side is a good move on the suffocation pit, able to attack a potential hooked survivor from both sides here. So Eviscerate looking strong, but if they will reach the end game here, that's something that comes down to the question how quick Gavex is in the next chase here, but he definitely has the chance to even go for a 4K.
Yeah, definitely. If Zeno's on that second stage, Laser is injured. They can't go for the save. They need to do the reset at least, but Laser is working on Generator. It's almost completed. It's probably around the 60% mark, and Arima is going to be able to sneak past where the Deathslinger was and get this save on his Zeno, so that means that the death won't come through, but Laser is still vulnerable. They are going to be found out as well. Laser has the sprint burst, but it's not enough. They're going to connect on that shot, and that is going to be the down now onto Laser. Zeno probably getting healed. No, instead Arima and Zeno are going to try and get some drain pressure. We see that the killer Gavex is choosing to break this generator, apply that Call of Brian, apply that eruption, and now going to go for the hook. If there's a Scorch hook nearby, that means Zeno's and Arima's generators probably going to get interrupted by that Scorch hook, but no, instead it's going to go for the closest one. That's the one with the most progress, meaning the survivors now are starting on a fresh generator, meaning that Gavex has all the time in the world to find Zeno, find Arima, find any of these survivors, and get another down and snowball into even more pressure. That's Laser, the second to last fresh hook, also taking a hook. It's going to be 3 more points for the Way of Karma. They are definitely dominating here in this situation.
Yeah, this is, I mean, we have to say it, right? With 3 survivors here because of an internet crash, they're still doing a really, really good job against a very, very dangerous Gavex, who's playing a really, really strong game so far and making the most out of what he got. 6 stages so far for the killer of Karma. Laser and Zeno still injured. Wouldn't be surprised if Eviscerate is going for a full reset here. We need to keep the penalty in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Effectively, only 2 generators are done at the moment because of the renewal that has been brought in trial number 1 here. So when we are talking about a win condition that has been brought in by generators, we really, really need all generators to be completed to effectively have one generator still standing. Otherwise, Karma would be able to ignore any 3-gen in their survivor game, and that is one of the most beautiful win conditions that could be met. There is one additional survivor here next to the main building. Laser being called out, not able to land the shot here. That's going to be valuable time for Eviscerate. Once again, a little bit hesitant there on the shot that allows Laser to make another turn around the main building here. The seconds are ticking down, and that all works towards Eviscerate's generated pressure. There's one survivor right here. Zeno moving over towards the main building, but here's Deadhook, yeah, and he has not that much to work with besides the building itself. We do see the notification in the distance. They are working on the generator. The only good strategy they can do so far is put as many resources as possible into this generator. Givex switching once again to the next survivor, moving slowly towards the bottom side. Really nice how he's faking the shots here and forcing the
Laser's juicing!
Closing the distance, but really, really strong here on
the eruption,
rock
no!
and the edge map. Just a little bit, but eruption triggering. That's going to be a little bit of a time penalty. So unfortunate now for Team Eviscerate here. Really, really close to getting generator number 4 and 5 done. Laser also only 60 seconds away from the elimination from this trial here. So it's a back and forth between both teams here, but I still see Givex in the little bit of a better position here.
No, definitely, but Harima able to sneak by, just barely avoiding the Deathslinger. They're going to be able to go in for the safe. Givex, however, is going to stay a little bit nearby, trying to get rid of as many resources in this area, since he knows what Remo's working on here. He knows that the gens are almost completed, but now has to retreat back toward the main building side, because Zeno is working on this generator. This generator had a lot of progress previously, however, it was hit by Skirt Trick, it was hit by Eruption, and it was hit by Call of Brine, so a lot of regression has happened. That means Givex is still going to have to interrupt this gen, but Zeno is going to be nowhere close to completing it, and landing that shot is going to be huge. This is going to be the death now onto Zeno if they're able to get the hook, and it seems like it's going to be uncontested as both of the other survivors are across the map. So yes, this is going to be the death now onto Zeno. Laser and Arima, the only two survivors left standing after the DC, and it doesn't seem like they're going to go for the reset. Instead, Arima's going to the basement. This could be a hatch play trying to come through, and it would be a huge point swing if they're able to do it, since this is a fresh hook survivor.
10 points sitting there on the basement stairs. That's a really, really huge point swing. That equals 5 generators if we're thinking about it. So absolutely insane here. Now Givex in the mid part of the suffocation pit, potentially not having the idea that there's a hatch play in mind of these survivors, but it does make sense, right? With the 2 survivors standing, it's almost impossible to really pull something here, even though there is a huge gap between the generators. One on the top left there, really beautiful setup by Eviscerate, but trying to go for one of these generators, and if that doesn't work, just taking the potential escape there with the 10-point swing is the right idea. Unfortunately, our survivor not able to be the most stealthy, and we have an esports legend from Counter-Strike on the Deathslinger. What a shot there onto Laser. Nice down by Givex. Karma absolutely shining here on the killer side, but there is a fresh survivor standing. Now we need to talk about the new bleed out rule, ladies and gentlemen. Laser is also dead on hook, if I'm not mistaken. The bleed outs are now awarding 4 points for the killer. We only deduct 1 point if it's a struggle survivor or a fresh survivor to break a tie. But if Laser bleeds out, there's no point loss here for Karma, so they can just not worry about Laser anymore. They can just let him bleed out and just take the points. So it's coming down to the question: 10-point swing for Eviscerate or full 28 points to Karma. And with 10 points on the table, this is a very, very intense and very, very pressuring endgame.
Yeah, definitely. Arima, we see, is sneaking by with that urban evasion while Laser trying to curl the corner. One thing I wanted to point out when they were having the chase was Laser was trying to take it to the edge map, trying to take it to the corner, trying to force Givex in a situation where they're going to be lose-lose if they pick up or if they try to slug, because that means that Laser could potentially go anywhere on the map, or they could force them to hook in a situation where Arima is across the map, you're across the map, you can't get to the hatch before Arima does and before the hatch opens because you're forced to hook in the corner, and that seems exactly what Laser is trying to do, trying to goat Givex into actually taking the hook onto Laser, because that's exactly what you want if you are Eviscerate in the situation, because Arima, again, on the other side of the map, Oh, no! Instead, they're nearby, maybe trying to go for the pickup, maybe trying to force the idea that Laser wants to be picked up and wants to be hooked on this side of the map, while instead having Arima on this side to try and go for the pickup as soon as Gvex leaves. That could also be a play as well, but Arima should be trying to be as safe as possible, but instead it's right next to where the killer is. This urban invasion really playing out, though. It's going to be able to make them be able to sneak by as we see the killer going to the back of the hill. Laser's still in the corner. They're getting crows. Gvex still hasn't been able to find Arima, but now on the hatch side of the map, Laser, in the meantime, should be picked up. That should mean that the survivors can get some more gen progress, but that Call of Brine has forced those gens to regress all the way back to the start, meaning Gvex still has all the pressure here. Checking the basement now where we saw Arima at the start, but it's no longer there. Arima now near the corner, but again, not going for the pickup onto Laser. I wonder what this play is actually going to turn out to be. This is some big brain stuff that I haven't thought of, Dyer. Do you have any theories on what Arima is going for here?
First of all, I hope that Karma was reading the new rule set and knows that the bleed out in the distance doesn't matter to them, and that the points would be awarded, because maybe Eviscerate is gambling on that the killer would go for the survivor very soon and pick them up here, but it seems like Gvex is kind of chilling down here. Maybe the plan is the following: forcing the killer into closing the hatch, and as soon as that happening, opening one of the top exit gates, and with a 4.4 killer, that could be happening there on the top side. So they maybe prioritize the exit doors instead of the hatch for the escape here, and Gvex is just staying on the bottom side here. So there's no way for me that we do see a hatch escape happening here, but the doors are not on the bottom side. That's the unfortunate news for Gvex here. He will be forced to close the hatch, and we see exactly this being the plan. Eviscerate survivors positioning on the top side. It's a 4.4 killer, ladies and gentlemen. That's a huge
There's the death
for our killer. There is the exit door powered. Is it going to be enough? Arima,
it seems like it.
10-point swing, and this looks so good. There's no Deathslinger, no Gvex. He also needs to make a 50-50 call. He sees the lights, but I don't think that's going to be enough. 80% already. I don't think even with the shot that's going to be something that works out. The shot coming through, but it is not going to be enough, I believe. Is it going? There's no one escapes death. Unfortunately, this is going to be the injury.
The reload speed. This could be it. This could be it.
The last shot. Where is it going?
No! That's gonna be the escape!
To the point. No, he misses it! What an escape! 10 points for Eviscerate. This was so close here. What a turn for Eviscerate, and I would love to be in the VC right now, because they must scream and celebrate about this last second turn here. 7 points on the survivor side, and look on the drop on the killer side, 21 instead of 28. What an insane performance here by our survivor team. This was insane.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. It came down to the very last shot, was able to get another shot because of that reload, was able to potentially force the survivor to take a death, but Arima was able to juice, took the dodge, and got out because of it. So well played there in the in-game, now resulting in a score of 7-21. But keep in mind, this is still a very, very disadvantaged state. Thus, the killer, Xeno, on the comeback, on the Deathslinger here, is going to need to play perfectly. And if anyone can do it, I think it's Xeno. So we'll see if that's going to be possible after a very short break.
Ladies and gentlemen, Eviscerate now on the killer side with Xeno, and Karma is bringing out Kilate, Gvex, Trauma, and Shoti, or Shotty. And this is a very cool roster. Have to come back to the 1v1 event. This team was surprising us. This team was inventing the bucket tag. This team was playing with so much dedication and so much fun in the previous event in DBDLeague that we just had to invite them for this 4v1. And so far, they are on a good run here. Gvex with an insane performance on the Slinger, but Eviscerate with a same insane performance on the survivor side, pulling that last second 10-point swing. So you see a score of 7-21, including a penalty for Eviscerate by 2 points, and we do see a save the best for last, confident and quite risky pick.
Wait, Dyer.
Huh?
That's barbecue and chili in a comp game. That is barbecue and chili in a comp game. I have legitimately never seen that. That is insane to me. Zeno has opted to bring that barbecue and chili. Trauma gonna be the first person in chase, gonna take an early hit. Maybe you don't even need the barbecue and chili with Zeno's insane game sense, finding these survivors and then getting the follow-up shot. This is gonna be a very fast down now on to Trauma. Very well played from Zeno, and already 2 stacks to save the best for last. With the rework to the cooldown on weapons, that's essentially 4 stacks as well. So this is a very, very good position for Zeno to be in. Is going to be able to catch up to these survivors relatively fast. Shoddy and Kalate both working on generators. They're going to hop off it in case of pain resonance, but it's not going to be brought. Gavex also working on one, but only around 20%. If Zeno is able to find these survivors, and he should because he has barbecue and chili, by the way, this will be a very, very good start, but Zeno still just going to opt to camp the survivor out. Honestly, this seems like a pub build. Zeno must be very, very confident in his ability on the Deathslinger to bring this out.
Yeah, this is insane. I was going through the perks, starting off at the top and then clockwise, but actually, yeah, barbecue and chili here. Zeno on the grind with a very, very insane 2-tap there at the beginning. I don't think he cares too much about the generator that was just completed in the distance, but he's losing a little bit of time by checking the edge map here on the top side. Nobody of Karma is waiting right there. They do have a second generator good to go in a second here. So as quick as this down came through and allows Zeno to confirm the second stage, it doesn't seem like Karma seems to be too affected here. They are punishing Zeno instead with a great generator pressure. He has a triangle 3-gen here on the top side, but not a 4-gen as we sometimes see on the suffocation pit. Also this one right there that is linked into this triangle allows the survivors to go into the midsection and then move into safety. So it's not the best 3-gen to play around, still not the worst one. So we need to see what Karma is putting up as a counterplay here. The survivor is in second stage now, so Zeno might force the 3v1 very early on, and just a nice snipe here, cross map on the suffocation pit.
That's a guard
sure
to
this
the
survivor
cooldown.
here is definitely not going to come out for the Anok here, and with the cigar, yeah, the stun really, really short, so there's no chance at all for any other survivor to move behind the slinger as well. That was just a quick injury that will turn out as unnecessary for Karma here and will just provide more time being taken from the survivor team, while the teammate is dead on hook in 5 seconds here. They do get a third generator done, not quite.
That's in the 3-gen!
He's able to interrupt that, and that's in the 3-gen, yeah, but he's able to get the survivors removed from this generator here. So very, very good work by Zeno holding against it, now breaking the wall in the main building as well. The next down will decide the entire outcome of the game, I feel like, because if these survivors going down, especially on the top side, that would be horrendous here.
Yeah, Zeno is in a really, really tough spot because we were like, oh, he has a 3-gen. It'll be fine. And then we look over to Shoddy, we look over to Gavex. They're already 90% on a generator inside that 3-gen. Now we see the resound to Gavex as well. And Zeno is now looking like he's in a tough position. A very early down, a very early death, already at 2 gens. But those 2 generators couldn't be farther apart, and they already are close to being done as well. Gavex, however, is going to be found out in the open. This is going to mean that Zeno is going to have the potentiality to get a very, very quick down. And inside the 3-gen as well. This is going to be huge for him. He gets the shot. That's now going to be the down onto Gavex, the killer of the previous round, who played exceptionally well. And in the distance, we see Shoddy, a little gray blur, heading over towards the 3-gen, but Zeno is right there and is going to get a hook right on the generator that had a lot of progress. And now, will we see the barbecue and chili value? I don't see any auras, Dyer, do you?
No, because they are potentially all up here in the 3-gen. It's one of the golden rules, right? Don't go down in the 3-gen, especially on a map like Sappho Pit. He's not gonna go for the swing because of the cigar. Look at this stun! This is not even going to be the unhook. Karma throwing the game here, unfortunately, making a huge misplay here, miscalculating the effect of the cigar add-on here. Zeno turning everything around. There's just one survivor standing now, and I think even if there would be a bleed out on the survivor, this 1 point wouldn't change much for Eviscerate. So Zeno just needs to find our Nancy now, need to make sure that they are not pulling a last second decision like in the previous trial here, but there's so much to do for Team Karma. They need to get generators done, they need to go out of the doors here. It is going to be a really, really tough situation for them now, not being aware of the cigar, not calling it out too quickly. This is a horrible situation to be in, and Karma started so well, but unfortunately not able to reward themselves here.
And the hook will come through. Kaleid's not going to be able to make it towards the ace either. Zeno is going to be able to sit in between both of these. The only thing that Kaleid can do is finish that last generator, but Dyer, I think because of the 7-point swing, this will be a win for Eviscerate if they're not able to finish all the generators out. And Zeno is able to find Clay before they're even able to do that. This is all comes down now to whether or not Clay is able to juice around these tiles in the middle and get a save, but it doesn't seem like they're going to go for it. Instead, going all the way back to Shaq, and Zeno with a shot from the 12-yard line is going to get a down. And now this is going to be the win for Eviscerate after a DC and after a penalty.
Wow.
An insane comeback here in this situation. This is so good for Team Eviscerate. However, there still is a potential for 1 point to be lost, as we do know. Oh, or actually, no, I lied. I forgot they hooked the Claudette, so never mind. That is all the survivors hooked, and that is going to be all she wrote for this game. Nobody with Deliverance, and Direwolf, a killer with barbs you can surely just won a comp match. This is insane.
And save the best for last, right?
Yeah.
Save the best for last. Also not the biggest value, like an eruption or no one escapes death. So Zeno smashing it. I think we can open a DBDLeague tutorial channel, take this match here, and upload it as a perfect example of how to play Slinger in comp. This was out of this world. There's nothing that can describe what we've just seen. Zeno celebrating here, and he has all reasons to do so. And now is the difficulty. Not only have you dropped set number 1 against the odds, Karma was in the way better position here, you also have to play survivors straight again after you just had an obvious miscommunication going on about the cigar add-on, after you just experienced a big issue that has made you lost this one. So it's not going to be easy for them.
No, definitely not. This is going to be definitely bad for their mental. And, you know, it's going to be difficult. We're going to the Mastermind site, however, but I know Zeno has practiced this killer. I know that he loves this killer, and it's still going to be very, very difficult to them. However, because it's a new killer, because there's not a lot known about the Mastermind and how he should be played in comp, there still is a potential for them to make a comeback because of how new this killer. However, losing this match was definitely not what you wanted to happen, and because of that, it's going to be a very, very hard comeback for Karma going into the second set, going into that Mastermind set, and we'll see what they're able to bring out after a very short break.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have just seen a very dangerous Zeno on the Slinger, and it's staying Zeno, carrying over his performance into the Wesker set. Givex, Fedinid, Trauma, and Garex going to be the survivors for Team Karma, and we have seen them playing strong, but it all broke down when one miscommunication happened about the cigar add-on. So hopefully this time with a stable and confident performance here on the Shelter Woods, a map that really requires a performance like that. So let's have a look what the Survivor team has prepared for us. Eviscerate moving in with Zeno on the Wesker here, a killer that has recently brought into DBD, and the comp community seems to really enjoy that killer. And yeah, it's going to be the first chase right here with our ace. Needs to make sure that he's not taking this power here, and he is able to move around the rock quite well here, throwing the pallet in a good moment as well, securing some distance and some safety. Zeno is not able to catch the survivor here, moving around the corner. Good work so far, 40 seconds into the trial without any injury and not wasting too many resources as well. Unfortunately, this one here rather unsafe, just one filler pallet in the corner, but on Shelter Woods, that's a good move. There's going to be the first injury. There's some time taken, and
no.
we also, just a few inches here, but we're chasing in Corrupt, so we might see a few generators going off.
Yeah, definitely. Being in the Corrupt right now is not what you want, but Zeno still able to get the quick down. This is going to be good for him there. They are going to have no access to any Scorch hook books, so the only thing that Zeno can do to delay those generators is kick them and then get down. So that Call of Brine plus Eruption combo that we've seen so common on the Mastermind is coming out from Xeno as well. But interestingly, we're going to see the Bamboozle as well. Xeno trying to block those windows, since you can play against pallets pretty effectively by just zoning the Survivor away with your power. The windows are the only thing that you really have to worry about. But immediately, we're going to see Fednet is going to go in for the save, gets the save onto Kvex and an injure, and Xeno has a potential to now go and get the down and the tunnel onto Kvex. In the meantime, we see that Karma is going to get their first generator completed. That's going to give them 2 points, but with the 3 that Xeno has already scored on to Kvex, getting the down there, and now the 2 that they're going to get from this subsequent hook, this is going to be very, very good for them. And in fact, if Xeno is able to find Fednet, this could be a very, very dominant situation for Xeno and a dominant position that he'll find himself in at the very start of the game.
Yeah, this is a great work once again by Xeno. The hook and injury and just setting everything up like in the Slinger set. The confidence is carrying on, the pressure is carrying on. We do see 1 generator being completed so far, but other than that, Karma not really with the pressure down here. And they are once again in the situation where they're close to losing 1 survivor. So it's going to be a tricky task here. We do have our ace also beautifully hooked on the big tree here, the very, very famous one on the Macmillan. There's a rotation towards the hook now from our Claudette. She will try to pull something last second here, but I'm not sure if that is going to be the plan. There's also Feng moving in. One of them would need to be successful.
Oh no!
And it is going to be the successful move. It is going to end in a trade, but that's exactly what Karma is happy to take here. For the people coming
but she
out.
doesn't get the down!
Well, that is going to be the injury, but not the down, because Xeno doesn't find the collision after throwing that survivor, so you do get a hook. Yeah, but this
I thought that could be the double down.
2 minutes of hang time. No double down, no double hook here. Instead, 2 minutes saved for Team Karma. Insane work now by them, and that's going to grant a lot of time to repair these generators.
Kvex, however, is still vulnerable. Maybe in this locker? No, Xeno checks it. I would have checked it as well. The scratch marks seem to lead there, but Kvex now going to be tricky hiding around here. They are fully healed thanks to Fednet. It's great for the people play, but still very vulnerable since they should become fully infected relatively soon, and Fednet also going to be vulnerable being injured like that. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to go for the save, to work on generators, or to even get chased by Xeno. Oh, but finally we'll see them. No, I was going to say Kvex getting the cleanse, but no, only Fednet has gotten rid of the infection. I mean, Kvex is now instant downable, and really, Xeno is trying to find them as fast as possible on this edge map, but it doesn't seem like they're there. We see the Fang get saved, and Kvex is nearby. They were working on this spray, trying to get the infection away, and they were able to get it at the last second, meaning Xeno isn't going to be able to get the instant down, but I was going to say they're not going to have much to work with, but then they find a jungle gem right after, meaning Xeno still has to play around this pallet. They are going to bamboozle the window, but that's not going to give them much value. They're going to be able to vault the pallet, but they're not going to be able to get the hit. I was wrong. They are able to connect there. Kvex tries to go for a fake, and because of that, Xeno will now get the hit. Going to try and play around this jungle gem once again. However, Xeno, as we've seen before, is great at getting the mind games, and now will get the down onto Kvex. This will be the first death of the game at 3 generators remaining, but you got to keep in mind, I believe Karma is close on getting another one soon out of the game. Oh, and it seems like Direwolf. Oh,
to be
are you there?
A difficult situation. Do I have no, don't tell me my internet of this mountain town is striking. No, you can hear me, right?
I can hear you now.
Back.
Yes.
I'm back here, guys. Okay, very nice. There's the elimination coming through the 3v1 scenario now for Team Karma, and you would really like to have more generators done than just 2 at this point, because when we are now talking about 3 survivors being in the trial, once one is on the hook, one needs to save, and the next one is going to be in chase. There is nobody available anymore to repair the generators, and with this setting, 3 generators can feel horrible, horrible long. So let's see what Karma has prepared for us. They need a long chase, they need a perfect generator pressure here, moving around this rock. Good job avoiding Xeno's attack here. Also the swing, not finding the target.
Oh, but now gets
is
it!
holding W, but this time it's going to be the injury. Very quickly counterplay by Xeno here, not wasting too much time, and that was really close there. And also able to just go over the pallet here. Great work.
The light now
is going to save the day for Claudette, though. That's going to be a little bit of distance there, and more time being taken from Xeno. This light might actually change a lot of things, because Xeno is now forced to rotate away. So the next survivor going to be in the chase, but all of them injured. So Xeno can really pick the target, which is in the best location here, and potentially grant the quickest down, moving around the pallet. But it doesn't seem like, oh, the mind game actually worked. It's going to be an unfortunate
and the
eruption coming out as well. Things not going well for Karma here.
Yeah, everyone being injured here means that no one can relatively safely go for the save. They can't relatively safely work on generators, and Xeno is going to be able to down them very, very quickly. If I were Karma, I would immediately go for the reset unless I had a generator 99. If there was a generator 99, I would try to pop that first, but it seems like they don't have one, so instead they're going to try and go for the reset. However, Xeno's nearby. Trauma would be out of position. Only Garrix is able to go in for the save, but Xeno just barely walks by them, and now that means both survivors are going to be in safe positions, and one of them is going to be able to go in for the save. Trauma able to make it to this T-Nell, but Xeno is going to instantly bamboozle it. That means they only have this tile to work with now, and this should be the down since they're cornered. But, ooh, Xeno tries to go for a mind game. It's not going to work, however, against Trauma. They go for the vault. Xeno goes for the mind game, but it's not going to work out once again. He's mind gaming himself, and because of that, we're going to see the light come through from Trauma. I don't think Xeno even realized, but he made it all the way over to that filler. So he gives up the chase, and now is trying to go for the save, trying to interrupt Garrix, but he's going to be able to make it without taking an injury. Fedinit is going to be able to get hit before then, but Xeno is not going to go for it. Instead, just going for Garrix. They are zoned toward the corner of the map. They are on an unsafe tile, so this is a great position for them to be in. They can't really, try and stay at that pallet since Xeno can just vault over it, and because of that, Garrix is just going to go down immediately after. This is now going to be the hook onto Garrix. I believe a fresh hook as well, meaning that Xeno is in a pretty good position, not only on points, but also, again, all these survivors are still injured now. Fedinit is going to get into the locker, maybe trying to bait out a DS, as we do see that as a play. No inner strength available to, or inner healing rather, to get them back to full, but we see them now hop out, going for the save. Xeno knows someone's over there, but he's just going to stay on the back of Trauma here instead of going for Fedinit, and Garrix is going to get saved in the meantime.
Yeah, I feel like Karma is a little bit like Iconic or Theory. They have the right ideas, they have the ability to fight, but unfortunately they are not able to reward themselves for the good performance they're putting on the table. Or Xeno is just too strong and the performance is not enough to challenge this experience killer. That could be the other explanation, because what Xeno is putting up here is insane. And just while we're talking about Xeno being insane, he decides to slug, and I think he has a good reason, because there's just a TNL available here for the survivor, hopping over the window with the power, and that's going to be just a little bit running into the open, and then the down is coming through, and we keep going. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, we changed the bleed out rules, so any survivor that is struggle or fresh hook would be -1 if they bleed out, but the killer gets all other points for the hook stages and the elimination, so the risk of slugging is a little bit less now, and we can tell that our survivor is not that far away, waiting in the middle of the shack here, so they need to be careful. They do have lightweight that could potentially hide a few scratch marks while they are running around and scouting the map, but Xeno is close to finishing this with 2 generators standing.
Yeah, this would be a very, very bad position for Karma to set up for their killer, so they need to try and get Trauma off the floor. They need to try to get a save onto Fedinit, maybe get a DS as well, if they're able to get that save, but it's all up to Garrix right now. They're the only survivor left standing, and I think we just heard a grunt of pain, but no, that was the Nia. Garrix is, however, still nearby, so the save will come through, but Mastermind's right there. They get the BT hit, and now they're going to run away. However, because they are in the mid, Fedinit can't stay in a locker forever, so if they choose to go for a play with the DS, they're not going to be able to hold Xeno hostage for long, but instead now going to go for the Fang. They go for the swing, but the swing won't connect. They just walk through it. Now Xeno tries to go for the mind game. They're going to go for another one, but the survivors are going to hold W, but it's not enough. They're still going to lose just a little bit of distance, and because that, Xeno now gets down. Fedinit, now the only survivor left remaining, they were forced them in, so they couldn't get the pickup immediately, and now has to go across the mat to find Trauma on the floor. Garrix, in the meantime, will die, and the Mastermind will find their last remaining survivor. So this should be all she wrote for the survivors, but Xeno actually not finding where the survivors are. This could potentially mean that a bleed out play could come through, or even potentially an exit gate play if Xeno is too far away from one of these exit gates. But it seems like the survivors are just going to try and get the pickup instead. Fedinit all the way on this side of the map is going to use the cleanse, but I wonder how Xeno actually lost the survivor there instead of trying maybe to go for a pickup or something like that. I have no clue.
Yeah, it's. I was surprised as well. I was sure that Xeno would catch the tail of the survivor there and force the 4K as quick as possible, but it does happen now. Hello, Nia. Welcome to the Xeno gaming with the nice mind game here as well, knowing exactly that this would be enough. The ping difference is high, but it goes both ways here. Xeno just
Trauma is fresh
back,
hook.
making sure that there is going to be the confirmation. Yeah, Trauma would be a -1 for Xeno, so if we do face a tie in the upcoming game and Karma's killer would not get a bleed out, that would be the win condition then, or the win condition being met there. But we do see that Nia is at least going onto the hook here. Yeah, there is the chance to at least deduct 1 point from the overall score. Xeno would get all the 28, as bleed outs now count as a full elimination, and then we deduct -1 to break any tie if it occurs. So let's find out if Xeno is quick enough here with the Trauma still being on the floor. Doesn't seem like he has them located just now, if I'm not mistaken. Trauma is on the other side of the shelter woods, if I'm not mistaken, so that wouldn't, yeah, that is going to be the other side. So
they're nearby.
It's not going to happen. Is it close by?
Yeah.
Oh, my orientation's bad. Yes,
it seems Xeno left though. Xeno has left. He didn't find Trauma on the edge map. That's going to mean that the bleed out will come through. And that means now the win condition is to 4K at 2 generators. The same that Xeno just did. Meaning this is now much more likely that Karma can come back from this. Fedinit now going to take the final hit of the game. But that's -1 from the total score of Xeno. Meaning that's going to be 27-6. A very hard position to win from. But keep in mind, Eviscerate just made a comeback from 7-21, so it's going to be a very, very similar game if that does end up happening. Xeno going to take the win in this round, however, and with a very, very strong performance, able to put a lot of pressure into that early game especially, and because of that, the survivors were just never able to make a comeback. With a death immediately on to Gavex, there was not much they could do. And then on to the injure on also Gorex and Fedinit. There was just no position where any of the survivors could go safely, get that save. And because of that, Xeno was able to take advantage and just force them into positions where they were always going to be in a lose-lose situation. But we'll see if somehow Karma is able to make a comeback after a very short break.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the potentially last trial. The win condition is a 4K with 3 generators completed if there is no bleed out, because we are now deducting 1 point to break a tie. Xeno, a not real Laser, Arima playing on the survivor side. We won, not returning after the internet cut earlier. They don't want to trust that, and I think that's very, very understandable. So 27-6, and we do see the first chase happening almost immediately, just a few seconds into the trial here. Ninth life to go for the distance and waste time from the killer here, but a quick M1 because we're in the open. Laser using the life for distance, but not for safety, and therefore we're just staying on this one, and could be a quick mind game around or just removing it from the trial early on. That's going to be the case, as we do not have that many jungle gyms on a map like Shelter. What's next? Filler pallet towards the edge of the map, towards the outscore, so you are a little bit zoned here. We're using the power to just hop over the pallet quickly, and that is going to be now the mind game back and forth between these. Keep the
body block
in mind, but Adam is here. Nice work. Is going to pick another very interesting hitbox there on the tree, but Eviscerate keeping it safe. They don't want to have Laser go down very soon here, but woohoo, that was quite close there. So even though the body block was nice, it's still in a difficult situation here.
No, yeah, definitely. Gavex now going to find another angle onto Laser, however, with that mind game, and still is able to get it down because of that. The Corrupt is up, however, and the survivors have been working on this generators. Arima nearby on a generator as well. It's almost completed. Gavex is going to be able to hook it nearby it, but only Call of Brian is going to be able to regress that generator enough. So Gavex is going to have to keep pressure on that generator to prevent the survivors from actually going and keeping that gen regressing. Arima, however, seems to have snuck past Gevex. Gevex knows that a survivor was near here, but they made their way around. I wonder where they are. Not Real is also nearby, about to complete a generator, and Zeno also on one as well. Arima now has been found, however, so Gevex has the potentiality to down another survivor right next to where they downed one right now. Going to be able to force them into the edge map, gets the injure as well, able to hit them on that tree, and now should get the M1 as well. They're not gonna be able to get the save. 2 gens pop, but 2 survivors go down. This is gonna be so good for Karma, and a potential snowball is gonna come through because of it.
Yeah, the snowball is so huge. We had the grab earlier on the side of Karma, but now it's Eviscerate being affected by this. And keep in mind, they need one more gen, and even then it would be a win for Karma if no bleed out is involved in the scoring. So Eviscerate still has a lot of work to do here, while Arima is going down next to Laser here. So nothing is decided. Eviscerate couldn't go for this pull just because they are already winning or something like that. It was still really difficult for them, and they still have work to do here. Now Gevex needs to make sure though that he doesn't feel too safe with the slug next to the hook, because we still have 2 survivors that are potentially teaming up in the distance and getting some generators out of the way here. So let's keep an eye onto the pressure. They do have 25% over there. Ace is rotating, so the generator pressure is not the highest also on Eviscerate's side here. And Gevex, it would be wild if they pull it, but the chance is there.
Yeah, Not Real is going to be nearby. However, it seems like the Whisker is spotting out. No, not able to find them just yet. That means that they're going to be able to make it now to edge map. But again, a potential sightline onto the Ace, but Mastermind has not been able to find them. Now looking over to where we see Zeno working on the generator. Zeno is injured. Not Real now able, however, to make it into where Laser is. However, they're going to have a potentiality to get the grab here now. Oh, but Gevex doesn't go for the tower. They're not able to get the grab either. That means Laser's going to get saved. Not Real will go down, but Laser can now go and save Arima. Zeno is going to be injured at the end, working on a generator, so they're not going to be able to make it anywhere. Arima, no, I lied! Zeno is able to get the save as well! That means 2 survivors are now up. Laser needs to go down right now, and Zeno needs to pop that last generator for Eviscerate, but this is still anyone's game. It's going to be so close. We see the vault coming out from Laser now. That's going to mean that Gevex is going to waste even more time. We might see the pickup on the Not Real. Yep, that's going to come through as well, and now they're going to make it all the way to the shack. Gevex not having the 2 tokens, instead just 1. That means they're not going to be able to get the follow-up onto Laser. Everybody's up right now. They're probably resetting as well, and now Eviscerate is in a very strong position.
Yeah, Eviscerate just bringing it back here. All 4 survivors still injured. It's still very risky, but they still have a lot going for them, and that this is not an immediate down is also just costing another 5 seconds for the killer, and these few seconds could make the difference between the generators being completed here. 2 more would be an absolute guaranteed win here. Right now it would be the win for Karma still, if there's no bleed out involved. 1 more generator and Eviscerate is through with a 2-0 here. Karma needs to go get a lot done for themselves. The killer Gevex is under a lot of pressure. Not a single objective can be done before they do get the 4K. The power helps a little bit in crossing the shelter woods quickly, but not that much, and it is going to be the repair of the generator. They are not opting to reset Zeno just yet, and it's also going to be tricky to do that, as Zeno is now going to be in the next chase. He has 1 filler pallet here to work with, but needs to be careful. But nice patience by Zeno. Nice stun.
The smash hit as well.
Smash hit coming out, but not able to make it to the shack. The killer is breaking the pallet, so that's going to be a little bit of extra distance. The quick, the slow vault back. Nice idea there, but not able to throw off Gevex here. So quick down the generator. That's going to be the question here. Is it going to be completed? And with the double up, I think that's going to be enough time. No eruption. That's cross map. Yeah, even with power, I don't think that's going to be enough. Even if he grabs 1 of them, there would still be the that is confirmed. 2-0 for Eviscerate. Karma doing so well, unfortunately not able to reward themselves.
Yeah, they were doing so well early into this game, but now Eviscerate able to take it. And that's the one thing I want to talk about is Karma did not throw in these matches, I don't think. I think Eviscerate just plays consistently. They are able to always put up a great performance. It might not be the best in the world, but it's still consistent, and that's what's key against all these killers. If you're able to be in bad positions and still play at your optimal level, that's really what matters. And because they're able to do that, they were able to get the 7-point swing in the first game, and they're able to now come back from 2 survivors down within the first 2 minutes and gets a win here in this Mastermind set. We'll see the hook now onto Arima and the reset on to Xeno, but still the survivors have won this match out, and Karma will now be booted down to the losers, and Eviscerate will continue on in the winners bracket.
Yeah, insane work here by Eviscerate, really coming out strong. They are going to play the winner of our upcoming match with boy Misery, and Karma is definitely looking good in the lower bracket there. They have a lot going for them. They have shown us a confident performance, and we cannot say that Eviscerate dominated here. They fell apart, we can say. Under a lot of pressure, they fell a little bit apart, but they were not dominated from the get-go. It's nothing like this. The performance was also not bad. They showed a ton of potential. They showed correct decision-making. They showed good ideas of how to reply to something. So they have a lot going for them, but now our Adam here crouching a little bit, trying to avoid Givex, but not doing that successfully. Xeno's going into the next chase, while our Not Real is potentially getting the final generator done, and that's also what Givex realizes here, going cross map once again with the power. Will be interesting if he gets that in time, but Eviscerate, super strong performance here. Xeno, I will give him the MVP, not only on the killer side, also on survivor side, multiple times the one that came in last second, saving a teammate. So if we hand out an MVP, I'm going to hand it to Xeno.
Yeah, definitely. The last 2 survivors are remaining. Xeno and Not Real both were working on Junes, but Not Real was interrupted. Gavex had swung by, and now they're right next to each other. Will Gavex walk by the ace? Unknowing, I think they will. The ace is right here, but no, they find the exact tree. I didn't even see the ace there. I wasn't expecting him to jump scare me like that, but now we see the Mastermind coming out, getting the hit on to Not Real. Xeno in the distance will be working on a generator, and this should be the down now on this filler. They go for the box, but it's not going to be enough to get away. Gavex isn't caught out by it, and that's going to be the grab. The eruption will go off, but not on Xeno's gen, meaning the only gen that's going to be interrupted is the Not Real gen that he was working on previously, but that was already near perfectly regressed. So Gavex only going to get a fresh hook out of this. Not a lot of gen pressure, and Xeno is still going to be able to potentially finish that last gen, but as we all know, Xeno is a crouch enjoyer. They're going to be running that urban evasion. They're going to be trying to save their teammates, and they're going to be using that axe body spray to draw the killer's attention away.
Yeah, that's going to happen, yeah, and he deserves that, right? A little bit of celebration here, the moonwalk while crouching. Really the summarize of the entire performance we've seen today. Really strong there. Givex keeping an eye onto this generator, calling Brian for a second, asking how he is, and now we see Xeno, the stealth and crouch enjoyer #1 Pro 2000 XXL, moving towards the hook, and he does get the unhook, so potentially no, he doesn't want to go for the unhook. Maybe
he wants to make sure he's
game.
safe. Yeah, he wants to make sure he's safe. Okay, this is how pub survivors think. All right, you need to make sure the killer doesn't see you when you go for the unhook. So he's using that urban to hide around. Gavex goes for the mind game, however, is able to find Xeno. This is the next chase of the world. This is going to decide everything. Is Gavex able to get the down on to Xeno before Xeno's able to get the save? Xeno's going to make his way all the way over towards this jungle gen, but he's not going to be able to make it in time. Gavex now is going to try and get the injure. Is it going to be enough? No, he's not able to connect. He goes for a second one and still not able. Xeno juicing it up, goes for the nod in the middle of the chase. We know that's the most advanced technique that any survivor can employ, and now mixing the shack, the OP building that everyone knows about, goes down into the basement to get the bounce landing, but Gavex is right on his tail. Is he able to avoid? No! Gavex was a cheater and got the down instead. And I think Gavex knows that he's a cheater. He's gonna give him a hatch. No, he's toxic. He's not gonna give him the hatch. He's gonna go into the basement. Oh, minus rep cheating killer. I can't believe this.
Yeah. -5 for not handing out the hatch here. I feel like Xeno would have deserved it. Givex, how dare you?
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%.
But a nice finisher here for this amazing match. Eviscerate, congratulations, going into the second round of the higher bracket. Karma, we can't wait to see you next weekend in the lower bracket here, because that looked really promising, and we need to figure out the opponent for Eviscerate. We need to figure out the opponent for Karma. So we have Oboy, one of the, we could say, top 5 teams at the moment, going against Misery.